Hello and welcome to Elite Weather Forecasting. My name is Mr. G. I am your meteorologist today, and welcome to your weather forecast for Monday, August the 29th, 2022, as we talk about the extended forecast and look at least the next 2 weeks ahead, as we're going to be talking about a lot of things, and severe weather is going to be one. The end of the monsoons is going to be the other thing that's happening. The monsoon season has come to an end, I think. We won't see any thunderstorms in the desert southwest over the next couple of days, but we will continue to see heavy rain along the Gulf Coast from Texas and through the southern plains and the lower Mississippi Valley and along the Gulf Coast again. And we're going to be dealing with some severe weather through portions of the Ohio Valley and into the Northeast over the next couple of days as well. We're going to be taking a look at all of those things, as well as the tropics, our severe weather outlook, and our potential for heavy rainfall as well in some locations. So let's talk about what we saw across Minnesota over this last weekend, as we are in our Minnesota State Fair right now, which is one of the largest state fairs in the country, second only to Texas. It is the largest state fair other than the Texas State Fair. So you can't get bigger than Texas, right? But some interesting things happened this weekend. The weather was certainly a problem for some of the fairgoers. I went on Saturday, my wife and I. We had a pretty good time. Not the same as it was. And the pandemic really has changed a lot of things and how you get to enjoy things. We just think that the exhibits were subpar this year. But the food was great. They really focused and went out for the food, but didn't get quite the same experience with some of the exhibits, like the art fairs and the thing. We didn't get to see as many of the animals and stuff like that. But, that was my experience with it this year. But at least the weather cooperated for the most part for us. We did get a few raindrops. There were some storms around when we were there, but it really let loose last night. I mean, we saw there was some severe weather, tornado-warned storms as well, very heavy rain and gusty winds out there, a lot of wind damage, power outages, and even some flooding that took place on the fairgrounds itself. They had to shut the fair down. That storm that came through Sunday night was very bad. I have some video that I took last night from the storm that was just to the north, because I live just to the south of the fairgrounds, and just to the north, you should see some of the lightning from that storm, and I'm going to show some of that video right now. This was taken about 9 o'clock last night. I took with my phone just out of my front yard there, my front porch or whatever, outside my building. And that lightning was just continuous, just continuous rumble and lightning. And the main part of the storm was just 2 miles to the north. I was just to the south. I didn't get any rainfall, at least not that much in my area, as far as what I could tell, at least not at this time. But this was about 9 o'clock, at the same time that storm was pounding the fairgrounds, and it was flooding, and folks was running for their lives out there. It was a really bad situation. That severe weather actually caused them to shut down the state fair. So that is just some of the video that I recorded last night from outside, as that lightning was just off the chain, just very ridiculous amount of lightning, as you can see. So now here is some video that folks posted to TikTok of what was going on at the fairgrounds.
I really like cold.
What do you like about corn?
It's cold.
Look at the flooding. There's people walking through knee-high depth water. The water is knee-high. Some folks' ankle is waist-high. Look at all the flooding. This is just from last night at the Minnesota State Fair. Here is another video.
It's raining a lot.
It's just getting started. It's really cold. You can see. I know. Watch this. This is the start. You can see it right here. Look at this. This is the midway for all of the games. They start. wet. So, yeah, that happened last night at the Minnesota State Fairgrounds. We saw 2 days of severe weather across the Twin Cities in Minnesota, where there was power outages, a lot of trees down everywhere. Apparently, down in Lakeville, a tree fell onto a house. So, a lot of severe weather with some damage out there. But no reported tornadoes across the Twin Cities, fortunately. But we did have some straight line wind damage. So, my wife and I went out on yesterday, and we went down across the South Metro. I think it was South St. Paul, down by Robert Street, where we saw some trees down, a line of trees that were laid out by that storm. So a lot of storm damage across the Twin Cities over this weekend's severe weather. That severe weather is moving off a little bit to the southeast, and we're going to be talking about that in just a moment. But behind me, you're looking at our city of the day. And our city of the day is going to be another city that is along the Mississippi River, and this one's down across the Louisiana side of the Louisiana, where down of the Mississippi River, down where the Delta is, and this is Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and you're seeing that in the background where it is currently 83 degrees, and you are looking at your 4-day weather forecast, as you're going to be seeing those temperatures running about 90 degrees, and you might be dealing with some showers and thunderstorms each and every afternoon, as we've been dealing with heavy rain down there along the south, the deep south, the lower Mississippi Valley, and the Gulf Coast. And that's going to continue for at least the next 4 days down there in Baton Rouge, where you guys might be able to enjoy some of the sights, get on a riverboat cruise maybe, go do some gambling on the boat cruise, and check out some of the sites down there. There is a World War II destroyer that is parked down there. That's now a museum. You can go down there and check that out. And the Louisiana State University is down there, so you can go and check out some football. LSU also is Baton Rouge down there. So, and that battleship that's down there is the USS Kidd. So if you're in the Baton Rouge area, you might want to go check out that. And they have the Magnolia Mound Plantation with its French Creole house, and you can go down there and check that out as well. So there's a lot of antebellum landmarks down there across in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. So that is our city of the day. So shout out to the folks down there in southern Louisiana. And my heritage is from Louisiana as well. My family comes from Rayville, and also some relatives in Shreveport. So just a little bit of something there for you as we start to get into our weather today and talk about what we're going to be seeing out there. And here we are with our weather today. And our weather highlights is going to be a northwest warming trend. So it's going to be heating up again across the Pacific Northwest and portions of Idaho, northern Nevada, and northern Utah as well. So we're going to be seeing a warming trend in that region. And the southwestern heat also returns. We're seeing those temperatures in that 110 degree range from Phoenix over to the eastern deserts of California and Vegas as well. So we're going to start to see the heat return to that region. You guys kind of got a little bit of a break from the excessive heat because of the intense monsoons. But now that the monsoons is going, the heat will return. And we're going to be seeing severe weather across the Midwest as well. So Midwestern severe thunderstorms for your Monday and Tuesday as well. So that is the three main weather highlights that we're going to be talking about in today's forecast. Now, this is going to be probably a longer video because it's an extended weather forecast. And here we are with today's radar that we're currently seeing. This is our live radar, at least live at the time that I'm recording this video, but I'm going to try to get it posted really right away as after I get it recorded here. So here we are as we're talking about. Here is our severe thunderstorms that's going to be taking place through parts of the Midwest here. We're talking about through central Iowa, through Missouri as well, and Nebraska. Now these also will be affecting Indiana and Illinois today, where we're going to be seeing that severe weather this afternoon. And those primary threats that we're seeing out there, and I'm going to say this multiple times in this video, it's going to be some heavy rain, wind, and some hail, and maybe an isolated tornado. And you will see why we could see tornadoes when we look at the severe weather portion of this video. And we have some more rain through portions of the Great Lakes. Here we have Lake Huron, where we're dealing with some heavy rain through southern Canada here. So Toronto and Montreal dealing with some showers and storms this afternoon, and some rain down along the southeast coast through the Carolinas, through the state of Florida, especially down on the west coast of Florida over the Gulf of Mexico. We're going to be seeing some rain showers down there through near portions of St. Augustine, Florida, St. Petersburg, as well as Tampa. So we're going to be dealing with some showers and thunderstorms. And we're dealing with some thunderstorms along the South Texas coast here, down here across the mouth of the Rio Grande River, and also down across Beaumont, Texas, and Houston. Got some showers and thunderstorms again as well, and dealing with some showers and thunderstorms through the southern plains into northern Oklahoma, and a few showers there across north central Texas as well. And no monsoons today. We're not seeing any thunderstorms out across the Four Corners this afternoon. There is one there through eastern New Mexico near the Texas border, but that is about it as far as our thunderstorms is concerned this afternoon. And here we are as we take a look. Here's our QPF. Our QPF is if you take a sponge of the moisture in the atmosphere and squeeze it all the way out, get all the moisture out, this is how much precipitation you would get. And as we take a look at our QPF, here is our guide here, if it's in the screen. But this is showing how much rainfall, and if we took a sponge and squeezed out all of the moisture that we're going to be seeing through portions of the Midwest, down across Texas as well, the Gulf Coast, and into the southeast. For the most part, we're looking at about an inch of rain or less. So about an inch of rain is going to be expected today in these different regions where we're going to be expecting some rainfall this afternoon. So that is our QPF, and that is our cumulative precipitation forecast. So this is how much moisture we can squeeze out of the atmosphere if we were to dump all of the rain potential that we're seeing this afternoon with the various weather systems out there today. And as we take a look at our current temperatures, now it took a while to produce this video, so these temperatures might be a little bit off, but this is what we have at the time, and this is what we're seeing. Here is our temperatures across America. These are not the daytime highs, these are just current temperatures, and we're seeing those temperatures in the 90s through parts of Texas. Again, those 90s, or at least no triple digits, and we're seeing those 80s and 90s through portions of the Midwest right now as well. But we're getting ready to have those thunderstorms, and we're also seeing 80s down here along the Gulf Coast, and we're seeing a bunch of 80s and lower 90s over along the southeast and the mid-Atlantic states into the coastal sections of the northeast and into New England. A lot of 70s and 80s as well. And we're seeing those nice temperatures here across the Pacific Northwest. This is still earlier in the day out there. And here is our heat starting to build in across the Southwest this afternoon. So we're seeing that heat through southwestern Arizona and eastern California and southern Nevada, which is going to be where our triple digit temperatures are going to be in America today. So that is a look at the current temperatures. Now here's our watches and hazards. And we have our flash flood potential down here across southwestern Texas and southeastern New Mexico. So we're going to have that heavy rain. We're seeing that heavy rain in place this afternoon. And we have our potential for our excessive heat advisory through portions of the Southwest. This is all going to be heat-related issues. So this is our excessive heat watch in place across Southern California. So this is from the southern deserts of California and the southwestern, the Mojave Desert of Arizona and southern Nevada as well. So, and we have our heat advisory in place up here through portions of the Northeast because it's warm out ahead of that approaching cold front that's going to be bringing that severe weather into your region tomorrow. So today you're going to enjoy the warmth and a bit of warm weather out ahead of that approaching cool front. And here we are with our tropical outlook. Now, the tropics have been kind of boring this summer throughout, for the most part, since our tropical season started. We've only had 3 named systems in the Atlantic. We're waiting for Danielle to form, and we're going to talk about what Danielle could possibly become. And Danielle could actually be a hurricane. Now, there are some guys on YouTube that keeps talking. They are not trained meteorologists. They're talking like, oh yeah, big hurricanes coming and this and that. That's not the case. I don't talk about it until the storm is actually there. And we're seeing, okay, we have a system, it's developing, then we can talk about, I'm not going to talk about storms that haven't even formed yet. The tropical wave for those storms that don't even exist yet. And these guys are out here being irresponsible as untrained meteorologists telling people, oh, there's a hurricane outbreak and this. They're trying to get views on YouTube and it's not that serious, all right? I'm going to let the weather do what it do. All right, so let's take a look at the tropics right now. Here's a satellite image that we're seeing for your Monday afternoon. We got some tropical waves out there. We got one here off of the southwestern coast of Mexico and Nicaragua. Here we have off Central America and southwestern Mexico. We have this tropical wave right now that's not really doing much. It's like a big cluster of thunderstorms. We'll have to keep an eye on that because that one might become a little bit something and brush the southwestern coast of Mexico with some heavy rain over the next few days here. But I'm not anticipating it actually getting very organized and becoming a tropical depression or a tropical storm just yet. But it does have that potential of dumping some very heavy rain along the southwestern coast of Mexico and eventually working its way up, actually up the Bay of California here off of Baja, California. It could go over Baja and potentially bring some heavy rain down across La Paz, Mexico, and Ensenada, and maybe even some showers and storms through portions of Southern California, like around the San Diego area and Yuma, Arizona. Maybe could get some tropical moisture that could spawn some showers and thunderstorms by the end of the week as that guy kind of gets going here. And we have another tropical wave out here through portions of the Central Caribbean here, where we're keeping an eye on that guy and that potential, because this could potentially be a tropical system that could affect the Bay of Campeche and southern Texas and Mexico right here. It could eventually become a tropical system in this region. And we'll take a look at that guy. And we have some dead tropical waves out here that's not really doing much. And there's another tropical wave right there that's coming off the coast of Africa right now. And it's going to be possibly become tropical storm. Well, this could be tropical storm Danielle and that guy. But we have one other tropical wave that's not going to do anything right now. And it's pretty much dead. So I suspect that the National Hurricane Center is going to drop that guy off of its watch list right now. Okay, so here we are as we take a look at the infrared of what we're seeing of the this is the Yucatan Peninsula. It's kind of hard to see on the video, but the Yucatan Peninsula is right here. This is that other tropical wave just out here in the southern Caribbean here. We have Cuba, Puerto Rico, and we have Haiti right here to the north. There's South Florida right there. And so we have this tropical wave, and we can see how active it is. It's boiling out there. The atmosphere is boiling as those thunderstorms are forming and building up out there across the southern Caribbean. And we have another area of disturbed weather out here as well, a cluster of thunderstorms. So a couple of big clusters of thunderstorms down across the southern Caribbean and just off the coast of Colombia and Paraguay out there. So that is a look at that map. Here is another area of the Atlantic that we're looking at, another tropical wave. And this is out here in the central Atlantic, the Lesser Antilles Islands is right about there, and this is out over the central Caribbean. This is what we call the main development region here, the MDR. So this is where we kind of look for this time of the year for development for the tropical storms. So we have this tropical wave here. It's kind of reshuffled, but the tropical wave is centered right about there. So there's an area of moisture to the north and one to the southwest here. It's kind of this cluster here is moving off to the west, and it's going to eventually move towards the Caribbean and could develop over into something. It's got about a 20% chance of development right now over the next 48 to 36 hours. So we're going to keep an eye on this guy here. It looks like two separate guys, but trust me, we look for the low-level circulation when it comes to tropical development, even though we've seen these big clusters of thunderstorms, but they're kind of, as you can see, you have the inflow right here, and you have this region. So we have a general broad area of circulation, with the main circulation being to the north of the main area of low pressure, which is right about there. All right, here's what's coming off the coast of Africa. We have Africa right here. We have another tropical wave, and this is a big guy right here. This is a robust tropical wave that's coming off the coast of Africa right now. And here is the Cape Verde Islands right there. This is why this is called as the Cape Verde season, because the storms come off of Africa and cross over the Cape Verde Islands, and they move out into the Atlantic and form intertropical storms in our main development region, our MDR. So we have this next tropical wave that we're dealing with here. As you can see, it's a very active tropical wave. Certainly going to be bare and need to be watched here over the next few days as it moves out into the Atlantic, because those guys might be right about one thing, but there is the GFS, the Euro, the models change from day to day, because you might see, the models might say, a hurricane is going to hit Florida, and if you look at that model, it's going to hit Florida or the southeast. Yesterday, when I was looking at the model, had this guy becoming a hurricane and eventually hitting the South Carolina coast. But now it's just going to stay out over the Atlantic and go off to the northwest, because it's going around the Bermuda High, so it's going to stay out to sea. So the models change by day to day, so you can't get out there and say, it's going to be a hurricane outbreak, big storms. You can't be being dramatic trying to get views, but you have to keep things in perspective and take it one day at a time. And really, you have to understand how the atmosphere works. See, I'm not a full-fledged meteorologist, but I am getting training. I'm in class, I'm in school getting my meteorology degree. So I'm not one of these guys out here who they might be a weather fan, or they just needed some content and they make weather videos, but they don't know what they're talking about. So I'm not going to say names, but you know who you are. So I'm watching you, so keep it up. But anyway, so we got this this area that we're watching here, and we're gonna keep watching it, because as of today, the models have we have one storm that's expected to hit the border of Mexico and Texas, and another storm that's gonna go out and circle around the Bermuda High and stay off at sea. It's going to come somewhat close to the southeastern coast, but it's going to stay well offshore as of today after the GFS. That's the one I like to go by. But the GFS has been kind of iffy lately, but the euro, we can also use the euro to go by as well. And it does. Both of those are in agreement for the most part that no hurricanes is expected to hit the mainland United States over the next 2 weeks at this moment. So no hurricanes expected as of today. It can change, and every day I'm going to do a weather update, and we're going to talk about the tropics. It won't be as extensive as today's is going to be, depending on what's going on. If it gets going and it starts to look promising or look dangerous, we're going to certainly cover it and let everybody know what to expect. But as of right now, we just got a series of tropical waves that we're keeping an eye on because the conditions are a bit more favorable closer toward the western Atlantic than they are over the eastern Atlantic, and development is certainly more promising over the main development region. So that is what all I have to say about this map, but we're going to move on and take a look. Now here's the GFS projection. Now you see this guy? See how it stays out? Now this is about September the 10th. This goes out to September the 10th. So as we come up to the 10th, you see them? You see it? Hurricane right there. That's a hurricane. But how it stays well offshore. All right. So that's one. And we had two here, but no, see it no longer. That stuff that's right here goes over to Mexico and Central America, and then comes over the other side, and then develops into something. See now, see. There we go. So that cluster of that tropical wave that I just showed you a moment ago, that's just off the coast of the Yucatan Peninsula in the Southern Caribbean, is actually going to come onshore, go over the Yucatan, southern Mexico to the Pacific side, and then form into something and move up the west coast of Mexico, where it has that potential to move over a portion, the lower portion of the Gulf of California, and then maybe spread some showers over San Diego and southwestern Arizona, possibly. But that's about 2 weeks away. So let's just take that with a grain of salt right now. A grain of salt. Everything can always change. Again, here it is. This is the GFS. This is what we're going to be looking at about September the 8th, 9th, and 10th as this potential hurricane. And this is that big wave that's coming off of Africa now. The one I showed you on this one, that's this wave right here. This wave is potentially this hurricane when it comes out into the Atlantic, and it's going to swirl around the Bermuda High out there. All right. So here we are. We got three areas that the National Weather Service is talking about. We have Invest Area 1, and this one has a pretty good chance, a 50% chance. This is that one with the two areas. See it here and here. That's that circulation right about there. So that's going to be Invest Area 1. It has a 50% chance of further development over the next 48 hours. This one we won't worry about. This one still says a 10%, but this one you can see is nothing really there. There's nothing there. It's a low-level circulation, but it's getting caught up in the northwest flow. There's a east coast frontal boundary here, so it's going to get caught up in that frontal boundary, so it doesn't have any chance of tropical development. It's just going to get swallowed up by the extratropical system. That mid-latitude storm system is just going to get caught up in that and taken off to the northwest. And then we have this guy right here that has the potential of becoming another tropical storm or hurricane. This is a hefty wave, but it's in an area right now where the it's right here. The label is just there for some reason, but that guy is right here. This tropical wave right there that you're seeing, a very hefty tropical wave. But it's, as you can see, look at this. That's indicative of wind shear. So they don't like wind shear. They're being sheared apart. So if it can hold together with some circulation at the surface and get out here, then it can further develop possibly into an organized tropical system, a tropical depression, eventually tropical storm, and then possibly a hurricane. And then everybody in this region has to watch out and monitor the local weather conditions, okay? All right, so that is the tropical outlook. So a potentially active tropical sequence coming up, potentially. So we got 3 tropical waves. We got one that's not going to do anything anymore. That's going to get sheared away and get absorbed into extratropical storm system to the north that's coming off the eastern U.S. Then we have that second one down across the central Atlantic right now that looks promising, that as it moves to the west, going to get further or better organized, has a 50% chance of development, and could potentially become Hurricane Danielle. And then we have the third one that's coming off the coast of Africa right now, that's early in its development, 10% chance of further development, at least from where it is, but it will move to where the second one is now, and it will have a better shot as conditions are a bit more calm that way, and it can get underneath a dome of high pressure, because they like to be under domes of high pressure because the conditions are calm and they can organize and pull themselves together. All right, so here we are as we talk about the severe weather, and we have that potential for severe weather here through the Northeast and portions of the Midwest through Ohio. As you can see right here, we're seeing this coming down. This is coming down out of Michigan and Wisconsin, and it's going to be spreading some severe weather. And we have this frontal boundary as well, so we're going to see a nice squall line develop here, and then we have this action where we can see that potential for severe weather this afternoon. And here we are, our severe weather outlook today. We have our enhanced risk of severe weather through portions of northern Illinois and northwestern Indiana, as well as southwestern Michigan and far southeastern from Milwaukee to the Illinois line. We can see an enhanced risk of severe weather, and we have a tornado threat in that bad guy with gusty winds in excess of 80 miles per hour, some 2.5-inch diameter hail, as well as heavy rain. So we have a definite severe weather possible in this orange region here, and we have our yellow region, which is a slight risk, where we're going to be seeing some heavy rain, some large hail, and damaging winds, of course, as well, and even an isolated tornado. So we definitely have the tornado threat through portions of the Midwest today, and we have our marginal risk of severe weather that's extending down into the southern plains. And your primary issues with this is going to be heavy rain and some gusty winds that we're going to be worrying about today. And as we move into the day tomorrow, that severe risk now becomes centered over portions of New England and to the mid-Atlantic states as well. This is going to cover a lot of the big cities, D.C., Baltimore, and possibly New York City. We're going to be dealing with that severe weather threat, and it's going to be some heavy rain and gusty winds is going to be the primary issues with that severe weather tomorrow. Now here we are as we take a look at the energy coming through, and you see this is our vorticity in the atmosphere. So you see that energy coming through, so that's going to bring that heavy rain and severe weather right there. You see that energy that's going to be coming through, and this is good for today and tomorrow. So through the day tomorrow and into the northeast, we're going to see that potential there for that severe weather tomorrow, today and tomorrow. All right, here is our rainfall estimates. We're going to be looking at our QPF. No, this is not our QPF. This is our CAPE, convective atmospheric potential energy. So this is the energy that atmosphere has to work with to develop thunderstorms. This is what we're having today. A lot of that CAPE is here over the Midwest and through the Central Plains. So that's going to be moving to the east tomorrow. As we see it move to the east, and we're going to be seeing the CAPE moving on off to the east and southeast. and for tomorrow, and here we are for Wednesday. Dry air will start to move in and cooler weather conditions as we move in on your Wednesday, and that frontal boundary will move on off to the south and east, and it will bring those showers and thunderstorms to the south and east and over the Atlantic with it. So that is to look at our Cape. Here we are as we look at our wind shear. Here's our wind shear. Our wind shear is that ability to get rotating thunderstorms in the atmosphere. And to get rotating thunderstorms, you need to have a strong wind shear, a good inflow, and you need a tilt you need your towers to tilt, because when you get your rainfall, that rainfall creates a downdraft. And if it's standing straight up, that downdraft will shut off your updraft. But if it's leaning to the tilt because you have strong inflow and strong shear at the mid levels, that will keep your updraft from shutting off your downdraft from your rain and precipitation from shutting off your updraft. So your storms will last longer and become more intense because you're able to sustain your updraft and your inflow into the storm, and you're not being drowned out by your downdraft. So this is our wind shear, our bulk shear coming in here, and this is our 50-knot wind shear coming in. So that's why we think that we're going to be having that severe weather for today in this region. We're going to be seeing that severe weather because of that strong wind shear, because it's going to give us those rotating thunderstorms. Here's what we're going to have for you tomorrow. Our severe weather is going to move down through portions of Illinois and Indiana for later tonight. So today, tonight, early morning tomorrow, and then here is tomorrow afternoon as we see that energy really kick on out here through the portions of the Northeast. So we're going to be starting to see that severe weather potential through the Northeast. All right, so we're going to talk about our wet weather. Now, a lot of stuff is related, but the wet weather is going to be areas where we're going to be seeing that potential for a lot of rainfall and excessive rainfall. So here we are as we take a look. Here we are, we're seeing what we're going to be seeing over the next 48 hours. So we have that rain here along the southwestern Texas area in northern Mexico. Then we have our showers and storms along the Gulf Coast. We're going to be seeing heavy rainfall for the next 48 hours. And then all of this stuff through the Midwest. And there it is going into the Northeast by you get to your Wednesday. So between now and Wednesday, that heavy rain that we're seeing here in the Midwest today and tomorrow, by Wednesday, it's going to be there in the Northeast and New England. So that's a look at our heavy rain, and here we are. Here is our total precipitation amount. So we're looking at about some regions here across South Texas and northern Mexico could pick up a couple inches of rain, but we're also going to be seeing a couple inches of rain right along the southeast coast, and we're going to be looking at about an inch or less here through the Midwest and into the Northeast, as well as we move through your Wednesday. This is at least the next 3 days. So here we are with our excessive rainfall down here across the southwestern Texas, southern New Mexico. We have a slight risk of seeing excessive rain and our marginal risk of excessive rain through the Midwest and down into the southern plains here along the Gulf Coast and across central Florida. And here's what we're going to be seeing tomorrow. Again, across south central Texas into the Northeast, and down across portions of Florida and the southeast coast, as we have 3 distinct areas where we have the potential of seeing at least an inch of rainfall that could lead to some flooding and flash flooding issues. And here we are for your Wednesday. Again, going to continue down here across southern Texas and southwest Texas, Florida, and now all the way in Maine. So that's that potential for heavy rain that we can be seeing some issues with flooding in our excessive rainfall. All right, here's that extended weather forecast. Now we're going to be looking at this is our temperature anomaly. Now, we've been seeing it really hot across the Pacific Northwest. We saw it really hot across Texas. We saw those triple digits. But now, as we take a look at the next 384 hours, which is about 16 days here, we're seeing how Texas is cooler, but we're seeing how it's going to stay warm here across the northwestern Canada, southwestern Canada, northwestern U.S., western and California. So we're going to be seeing the western with a nice ridge in place, and that temperature anomaly is going to continue to be favoring the warm side. So warm weather across the west. We're going to be seeing it cooler across the Great Lakes, the northern plains, but we're going to be seeing rounds of above average temperatures here in the northeast and on the southeast, because we have incoming weather systems, and when you have those incoming cold fronts on the warm side of the front, we're going to be seeing those temperatures warm through the 80s and 90s through the northeast over the next couple of weeks, but we're going to see a lot of cooler weather as we have a troughing taking place down here across the Great Lakes and the Midwest there over the next 2 weeks. So we're going to be seeing cooler weather down here across the Southwest and in Texas, as we're going to be seeing those situations with some heavy rainfall down here across southwestern Texas, over New Mexico, down toward the lower end of the Rio Grande Valley. All right, let's go to our next screen here, and here is our upper level atmospheric dynamics. Here is our 500 millibar atmospheric rivers here, and as you can see, these blues are areas of low pressure or troughing. Here you have a big trough that we're going to be seeing over the eastern half of the United States. But look at that ridging. This is that La Nina pattern. So we're still in La Nina conditions, ridging out west. We're going to be seeing our ridge move to the east, but another ridge quickly builds in right behind it. So we're going to see pieces of energy, here we go, dropping off from Canada, dropping down. So we're going to be seeing that cooler weather over the Great Lakes and the upper Mississippi Valley and into portions of the interior of the northeast and southern Canada. So Ottawa, Quebec, Montreal, you guys are going to be seeing cooler weather over the next couple of weeks predominantly, because we're going to have this energy rotating around here and that persistent ridge of high pressure out over the western United States. A very high amplitude, it's called a high amplitude ridge. So we're going to continue to see that warm weather across the Pacific Northwest, Northern California, the Northern Rockies, and the High Plains over the next 2 weeks. All right, so here we are as we take a look at our this is going to be, if I can see what the thing says, here is our anomaly for our main surface level pressure. Okay, main surface level pressure. All right, so now our main surface level, now what you can see here, you see these rotations here. You see this high pressure, that's the Bermuda high. It's going to be directing these tropical systems out here. There's one tropical system. And you see how it's rotating out, because it's rotating around that Bermuda high pressure. And you're going to be seeing cooler weather here through portions, or at least wet weather. This is indicating more wet weather. We're going to be seeing wet weather across the southwest, wet weather across the northeast and the Midwest, and also we're going to possibly dry out a little bit across the southeastern United States in between there. But as you can see, that blue, for the most part, is going to remain wetter than average over those parts of the nation. So here we are as we take a look at our main surface level pressure, and that means that we have a lower pressure at the surface. This is not upper levels. This is down at the 2 meters above the ground. So here we are as we're taking a look at our atmospheric vorticity. You can see that ridge in place across the west with that troughing for the most part over the east. You see that energy coming down and then spinning up these areas of low pressure. And you're going to see one move across the northern plains, another piece of energy right there that's going to be coming about that first week of September. So here we are moving into the first week of September. Way up there you can see the date and what time it is. And here we are, that persistent ridging with troughing in the east. So we're going to see very comfortable temperatures over the Great Lakes, the upper Mississippi Valley, and into the northeast. But it's going to be very warm across the Pacific Northwest, the northern Rockies, the southwestern deserts, as well as down through the state of California. So essentially that's what this map is saying, is that we're going to see more of the same. All right, so here we are as we're taking a look at the next 2 weeks of our precipitation forecast, and what we're going to be seeing is dryness now across the west. For the most part, you don't see any more monsoons. You might see a little bit down here across far southern Arizona and southern California, a day or two. But for the most part, you're seeing scattered showers along the Gulf Mexico, the Gulf Coast and the Gulf of Mexico. And then you're seeing these weather systems progressing across the northeast and through the Great Lakes and off the northern plains and down to the southeast. You're seeing those repeated bouts of these weather systems. So not a whole lot of precipitation going to be had across America over the next 2 weeks, with the exception of where we're seeing tropical activity. And here we are, that tropical system that potentially could develop down off of southwestern Mexico. There it is as it comes north. When this circles around again, you'll see it come up. And there it is. There it comes. It's going to start to spread that tropical moisture down across the southwest. So that's the next 2 weeks of what our precipitation areas might look like. And here we are with the National Weather Service prediction for our temperatures from the 6 to 10 day forecast. So this is from September through about September 7th. September 3rd through September 7th. And above average temperatures out west there. So you notice it's not mainly over the southwest, but it's kind of over California and the Rockies here. So we're going to see above average temperatures in the Pacific Northwest and across the northern tier of the nation through the 7th. And here is the temperatures, the temperature through the 11th of September. Continue above average temperatures across portions of the western half of the United States and into the Pacific Northwest. And we're going to be seeing cooler weather across southern Texas, southwestern Texas, but we're going to remain warm above average all the way through into the northeast. So most of the nation, with the exception of southwestern Texas here, is going to be enjoying above average weather through the 11th of September. And this area is going to be dealing with a lot of rainfall. So this is going to be rain-cooled air across southwestern Texas because of tropical systems coming off of the Gulf of Mexico. And here we are as we take a look at our precipitation for the 3rd through the 7th. Again, below average precipitation across the northern tier of the nation, but we will receive above average precipitation from Texas through the southern Mississippi Valley, through portions of the southeast and into the state of Florida, and even in California, above average precipitation through the 7th of September. And that's because of the tropical system potentially that could bring some rainfall. It gets so little rainfall, any rainfall is going to be considered above average. Now here we are as we go through the 11th of September, from the September 5th through September 11th. Continue dry across the northern plains, the north central, and the northern tier of the nation, predominantly below average. Doesn't mean it won't have any rainfall, but we're just going to see less rainfall than what we typically see this time of the year for this region. And we're going to see above average rainfall across parts of Texas. So this is payment for that oppressive summer heat that you guys had. You're going to get beneficial rains, but you just don't want it too much, too fast, where it causes flooding. So across the southern tier, from California down across the southern tier of the nation through Texas and into the southern United States, we are going to be seeing that above average rainfall through September 11th. So that is a look at the extended weather forecast. Now here is your 3-day weather forecast. Now, as we look at this afternoon's forecast for the rest of your Monday, we're going to be seeing that dry weather out west as we don't have the monsoons anymore, and it's going to be really warm out here. Our heat across the southwestern deserts and heat across the northern tier of the United States in Idaho, Montana, as well as the interior of Washington and Oregon and northern Nevada and Utah. We're going to be seeing low 100s, upper 90s, but we're going to be dealing with thunderstorms down here from Texas through the Midwest, the Southeast, the Gulf Coast, the southeastern United States, Florida, and the Great Lakes, and we have our severe weather potential here through portions of Illinois and Indiana, where we're going to have heavy rain, some excessive, very gusty winds, in excess of 80 miles per hour, 2.5-inch diameter hail potential, and some tornadoes is possible as well. So some very severe weather there in portions of the Midwest today. And as we take a look at tomorrow, pleasant weather across the Great Lakes and the upper Mississippi Valley, the high plains, the northern plains, the northern Rockies, and the Pacific Northwest, where we're going to have a lot of hot weather in place. Temperatures in the 90s, maybe near 100s. A couple of locations might hit 100, and we're going to have that heat across the southwestern deserts once again. So a very similar day to today, but our severe weather is now focused into portions of the Northeast for your day on Tuesday. But we're going to be seeing those thunderstorms down across the southeastern areas of California, New Mexico, Texas, down along the lower Mississippi Valley and the Gulf Coast, southeastern Florida, as well as the Appalachian Mountain Range into the Northeast, and the New England, all the way up to Maine. So we're going to be dealing with scattered showers and thunderstorms as that frontal boundary makes its way down to the south and east. And if you're out ahead of that storm system, you all can see that potential for showers and thunderstorms. Now, none of you are going to get rained out all day. It's just while that system passing through, and as it moves towards your area, be on the lookout for some showers and thunderstorms. So if you're anywhere on the East Coast tomorrow, you can expect a shower or thunderstorm, as well as along the southern plains, the state of Texas, and portions of the Southwest. Now, this is not necessarily monsoon-related moisture. A little bit, it has that influence, but we have a trough of low pressure here that is going to help to spark some thunderstorms tomorrow afternoon. So as we go into Wednesday, and we're about to wrap up this video, because this video, like I said, is going to be a little bit longer. So we're going to be seeing that nice weather through the Great Lakes and the Midwest for the most part, getting down toward the southeast, the mid-Atlantic. But as our frontal boundary drops to the south, it's going to confine that rainfall down along the Gulf Coast, Florida, and all the way over into Texas as well. We're going to be seeing those showers and thunderstorms tomorrow afternoon, but no severe weather is expected down there. But we could see a little bit of severe weather through portions of Maine on your Wednesday, and that is just going to be for heavy rain and some gusty winds, but no hail or tornadoes expected with that. But for the most part, we're going to be seeing a lot of the nation actually starting to dry out for Wednesday. We're only going to see just a few spots that could see some of that rainfall. But for the most part, you guys are going to be dry for a good 2/3 of the nation, especially there on the West Coast, in the Pacific Northwest, all the way down to California and the southwestern deserts. We're going to be seeing that warmth as we finish out the summer months here and get ready for your fall. So I guess that's all I have for today, guys. So I had to take a couple of days off because I had to get my internet upgraded. I've been having some problems in my new place, and they fixed the internet. So hopefully the videos will upload quickly, and I won't have any problems. It looks good, so we're going to get this posted for you guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll be back tomorrow with a forecast update. It won't be as long as this video, just our usual weekday weather forecast update. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys tomorrow in the next video. Bye-bye.